Hey,
Hey,
hello?
how you doing, brother?
Can you hear me?
I got you.
How you doing? This is very interesting.
Yeah, man, you doing okay?
You can hear me? Yeah, I'm all
I can
right,
hear you.
man. This is interesting. It's a whole new world, man.
It's okay. Go ahead.
Yeah,
I
Father's Day. I don't know if you father or not. Happy Father's Day.
well, I'm not a father, but I mean, I got some children that look up to me, and got a nephew and other great people. So, I mean, I can be a father to somebody just by the information I give out to others.
You are definitely. I'm in the same boat, man. I just it's an honor though. I mean, you know, people don't realize the sacrifices this work does. I mean, it's a thankless job a lot of time, like being a parent. But like the benefits, like you help people, and your time is useful while you're here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Right away, I'm Bernard King BJ from Richmond, Virginia, and I just want to tell your audience, I know you got a great channel there doing a lot of work in Memphis, Tennessee. So I applaud you for the work you're doing, brother.
Well, I applaud you as well, man. I'm really a fan of yours now because I seen the work you have been putting in on your channel, and I like the fact that you got your own mind. That you're not afraid to back down. You state what you state, and I can tell that you're very sincere about what you're doing and what you think and believe, and we need that right now, especially from strong black men, because it's like
Yeah,
they're not trying to promote us in the media, man. A lot of beta males they try to make superheroes.
yeah, yeah. Well, go ahead and go ahead and interview me, brother. I want to hear what you got to ask me.
All right, well, and guys, what's the climate for black folks like in Richmond, Virginia?
I don't know, man. Last couple of days we had Juneteenth celebration and stuff, and I always say this, man. I mean, the fact that Juneteenth, and I know people might not like this, but Trump saying he made it famous. I wouldn't say that, but I guess he could say he brought light to it.
Hmm.
Why would I start celebrating a holiday just because white folks say it's okay to start celebrating it now? You celebrate days on your own. You don't need to celebrate Christmas, Thanksgiving, New Year's, none of these days just because white people say it's politically correct to celebrate. And the worst part about it, if it's so called a black holiday, why are we got white folks out there with us partying with us? As a matter of fact, I don't even like white folks in black causes. Keep them away. Tell them go fight your own battles. Let us fight ours. I don't. We're in a war, man. I don't need you around at this time. Matter of fact, I'd rather you go to the fathers in the earth and get away from me. I mean, it doesn't make sense to keep on. You cannot bring the oppressor to help an oppressed group because they will always take over the agenda and make it theirs. How do we go from quote unquote Black Lives Matter, which we know the true intention of Black Lives Matter, but how do we go from Black Lives Matter to last night at 8 o'clock? The same time Trump was having a rally, they were having a Black Queer Lives Matter interview on TV on NBC. What do transsexuality and homosexuality got to do with this? Nothing against them personally, but you are destroying the family with this. Even this post I saw online, this white woman said, single mothers need to celebrate Father's Day. That is a farce. Stop going along with the feminist agenda that has been used to tear down the black family for the last 50 to 60 years of a bunch of lesbians and carpet munchers. Tell them to get on. I don't care how many white people you love. You cannot integrate with them, especially on the basis of sexuality, because you will become them in mind, spirit. You already, that's the problem with the Congressional Black Caucus right now.
Mm.
They are nothing but white men in black skin. That's all they are. They're all sellout. The only one I like of the Congressional Black Caucus, and I always tell friends this, is Cynthia McKinney. She
Mm.
stood up to Nancy Pelosi, tell Nancy Pelosi, go to hell. I'm not going to let my people drown in New Orleans because you blew up the levees. I'm
Mm.
not going to support what you're doing in Israel. I'm not supporting it. And that's why I respect Cynthia McKinney. I respect so many other black some activists. But the thing about it is, and we got to be real aware right now that they're trying to drown out these voices. If you saw the other day on NBC, their embassy and Google tried to team up to stifle independent media. They don't like this thing about what me, you, others are doing. Vicky Dillard, Dr. Randy Short. I mean, Fly Nubian Queen, Boris Watkins, whatever. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
you can name anybody. So, I mean, your channel's interested. I mean, you got you done had Dick Gregory, Judge Joe Brown. I mean, wow. I mean, you done had a lot of interesting characters on this network. People that speak their voices.
Mm-hmm.
That's so much, you know, I don't even mind if you disagree with some things I say, but
Right.
I can't back down and I don't want you to back down either. By the way, I want to bring something to you in this course. If
Mm-hmm.
this corporate sellouts are so good that they're giving out all this stuff, right?
Right.
Have you don't you realize these corporate people have not donated to Nation of Islam, Marcus Garvey movement,
Mm.
um, Hebrew Israelites? They're obviously telling you they're for who they want to donate to, which is safe, pacified Negroes. They wouldn't donate to anybody strong because it would just destroy their agenda.
Mm.
Yeah, so I mean, it was kind of interesting. As a matter of fact, the current political climate is so great right now. I mean, last night, I mean, me and the brother
Mm-hmm.
we watched the Trump rally last night. It was kind of interesting, actually.
Okay.
And I always say this: love him, hate him, whatever you want.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I got to give it credit. I don't care how big a racist you are. You a man. I can deal with you. I just
Right.
want here, he's a man. I mean, you see Kamala Harris brought Russell Westbrook and all these people out there that go out with her. Black people are the only people that fall for this game of bringing an entertainer. Look, LeBron James, you're a great basketball player, but as far as political, you're nobody. Russell Westbrook, you're nobody. We don't need trumpet players, entertainers, musicians, etc. to talk to us because I already know you're a sellout puppet anyway. I like the fact that LeBron James got a school,
Mm-hmm.
but the same thing about it the other day. You saw Kyrie Irving when Kyrie Irving actually said we need to have our own league and everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's a great idea. I love what Kyrie Irving's saying.
Okay.
But unfortunately, the rest of the players not going to be strong enough to get behind him and support what he's doing. And that goes to show you the current state of black minds when they won't support, what the agenda should be. You should always want your own neighborhood stores, HBCUs. That's a matter of fact, that's one of the things Trump talked about. He said it
Mm-hmm.
last night. I've done more for the black community in 4 years than Joe Biden done in his whole lifetime. By the way, come and think about that. There's all them boomers out there that love Creepy Joe, Sleepy Joe, whatever you want to, pedophile Joe. I mean,
Cryville Joe.
yeah. I mean, come on, man. Let's be real, man.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, really to tell you the truth, this guy is a guy that you trotted out for President O because he's an Obama stooge. Well, guess what? What did Obama do in 8 years for black people? I mean, I can't name one thing he did. Tell me. As a matter of fact, Donald Trump kind of laid it out last night on the line. He said it straight up that if Donald Trump is telling you he done more for the black community in 4 years than Joe Biden did in his own life, Joe Biden, he actually said it. Obama bought him off the trash heap.
Mm.
So, I mean, he basically shared it last night in his interview. 20 of the most dangerous cities in America are controlled by the Democratic Party.
Mm.
Baltimore, Detroit, Chicago, and there are many others.
Mm-hmm.
He mentioned Baltimore and Detroit specifically. Now, I don't know about Memphis, Tennessee, but Memphis, Tennessee, I'm guessing is controlled by the Democratic Party too. In the city of Memphis, not the state of Tennessee, but the city of Memphis.
Our DA is Republican, and our mayor is, I think he's Republican now. But this has been a Democratic stronghold for decades under Boss Crump regime, and the residue from that affected all the way up to the present day. Like they just took down a statue of Albert Pike in D.C., who was a 33rd degree Freemason, Scottish Rite, but also the founder of the Ku Klux Klan. Now he was a powerful Democratic leader in Memphis back in the 1860s, along with Nathan Bedford Forrest. This was a Klan stronghold, but the thing about Memphis was unique as far as Black America with the vote, as long as you voted Democrat, you was allowed to vote in Memphis. We never had the struggles of Alabama or Georgia or any other place in the South, but Memphis was a stronghold. As long as you voted Republican, I mean a Democrat, you were okay, and that was the Boss Crump rules. But
Well, I mean, see, that's the problem because I always say, you realize we're the only group of people they tell you which way to vote. You got to vote Democrat. That's why
right.
Joe Biden can tell you you're not black and all that stuff. Well, I can tell Joe Biden, you're a savage. You're a devil. You ain't even human. You know, I look at it like, you know, I was talking to a friend last week and they were talking about demons and stuff like that. I said, well, I mean, do you ever think about who the demons are? I said, you got the devil around you every day walking on the earth with you. I don't know why you're looking for him in heaven. You know, and I mean, in the ground. What about the ones walking on earth with you? You know, anybody that got the agenda of warmongering, pedophilia, homosexuality, all that, you are thinking with a devil's mindset right there. This stuff is not of God. By the way, that's another thing. If you look at the Bible and you read it and you get the understanding, in other words, scripture, the script is being played out right in front of you. It's right there. I mean, they're playing the script out. You would say this is the book of Revelations if you're looking at the script the way it's played out right now. So, like I always tell people, don't dismay, but you got to get yourself, I would say, what Donald Trump said last night in his speech, get armed. Because think about this, brother. You got more guns in the United States than people living in the United States, right? So if you got more guns than people, why would I tell a black person who's 100 species and on the path to extinction if we don't get ourselves together?
Right.
Why would I disarm myself? Wouldn't I want to be protected when I, as far as what we would say, let's say, wouldn't I want to be protected from any person trying to harm me? Like, the agenda right now is being clear. And I mean, this is whether you support mass vaccinations or Confederate statues. Like I said, I don't even want Confederate statues come down. I don't even care if they come down. That is symbolism. Aunt Jemima pancake box symbolism. We got a street down here in Richmond named Monument Avenue. Got statue. They writing on the statue, Robert Lee statue. Who cares? Empty symbolism. Don't matter. I mean, you got Trey Songz out here doing a party I mean, he's out there speaking at statue. They're having a bike ride today. I mean, look, who cares about a Juneteenth bike ride? Give me the reparations. As a matter of fact, I think we might have blown a golden opportunity on Juneteenth. Donald Trump's so bold, and I got this from sources. I'm just saying that this could have been the plan. Should have been the plan. 2 friends of mine were at the Trump rally last night in Oklahoma. I've had podcasts with them. Matter of fact, one of his brothers had a podcast with us as well.
Right.
Okay. He might have, according to their sources now, this is me, but he had a meeting 2 weeks ago in the White House with black leaders, and they told him what you need to do. And he basically said some things in the rally last night. Like he said, I funded HBCUs and opportunity zones. But the lady named Sonny Johnson, who is from Richmond, Virginia, and went to Huguenot High School up the street from me, she actually told him that the opportunity zones cannot get unlocked by black people because the cities are Democrats and the people with more money and forces lock the black people out of the opportunity zones to unlock. So she actually made a point. And Donald Trump did mention some things in it, but I think they made such a big deal about Juneteenth. He probably was going to come out and announce reparations for black people right there in Tulsa, Oklahoma. But you had the Democratic Party say, oh, no, you can't do nothing on Juneteenth. Oh, no. It's going to the white supremacists. Right. Well, one thing about it, Trump brought this up last night. You're lauding Joe Biden, but Joe Biden got a history with segregationists, right?
Yeah.
He did 3 fawning eulogies of segregationists And he said Joe Biden supported every policy that harmed black people, whether it was NAFTA, the bankruptcy bill, every bill he supported to screw black people over, including the banks.
Mm-hmm.
Joe Biden was behind all of that. So when you look at Joe Biden, you need to look at Obama. I want your audience to know who is Barack Obama, or better yet, Barry Soetoro. I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to send this article later. It could be true. You know, look at his birth certificate. This thing says he was born in a Kenyan hospital. Now, he is an American citizen by the fact that his mother, Ann Dunham, was born in
Mm-hmm.
Kansas. But he would not qualify for U.S. president if he was born in another territory. His daddy is Lolo Soetoro. He has connections to George Bush, Warren Buffett, Brad Pitt, Jefferson Davis, president of the Confederacy, which is kind of odd that you're taking down Jefferson Davis statue, but you're a former
He's
so-called.
buried in Richmond in your home. I've been to Richmond. He's
Yeah,
buried in Richmond.
yeah. But he even said at his when he was campaigning with Ralph Northam that Jefferson Davis was his cousin. So you got to look at who are you really looking at when you see Obama. You're seeing a part of the power structure. Louis Farrakhan said it best. He was selected before he was elected. This was a chosen puppet. He already had connections. He was not poor. He didn't grow up in no poverty. This was a rich little, as a matter of fact, and you can look it up in the Heritage Foundation, he really worked for a Republican law firm. He really was a Republican disguised as a Democrat. So if you look at it, everything Obama did for the most part, except for the LGBTs and stuff, was really right wing. I mean, you talk about George Bush being a war hawk for war crimes. Obama and his whole administration should be in jail for war crimes for the destruction of Libya, South Sudan. What they call him? The drone ranger, the brown
Yeah.
bomber.
Mm-hmm. The Brown
He,
Bomber.
I mean,
People don't know what Brown Bomber was a reference to Joe Louis at one point. So
yes,
yeah.
but the destruction in Libya and Africa. Why did they kill Gaddafi? Because Gaddafi wanted to get a gold back deny and break away from the United States. They didn't like that. So they killed Gaddafi, which is so ironic. People talk about Trump, right? But at
Mm-hmm.
least Trump did let Gaddafi rent out a hotel at his one of his
Trump
hotels.
Tower.
Yeah, Trump Tower. Yes, he did let him rent out a hotel. Now Gaddafi put a tent in the back because he didn't want to stay in the hotel. But Donald Trump let him rent so the man that you hate the much or been trained to hate by the media, which really to tell you the truth, I mean, I can't stand the media that much anyway because I mean you look at who they always trot out in front of you. Either a white liberal, which is a phony white liberal, a fake, who Malcolm X warned you about, never trust the white liberal. You might don't like the conservative, but guess what? The conservative will be more honest with you. The liberal is like a sly fox to try to pretend kindness while screwing you over. Saying, like I said, if you got a racist that's a conservative, and you got a racist that's a liberal, give me the conservative every time. Give me my coffee strong, black coffee. Don't when you put cream in your coffee, you dilute the coffee. You make it weaker. You
Mm-hmm.
don't strengthen it. Give me the cold-blooded racist. Don't try to talk to me. Oh, I'm your friend. Look here. I don't got no white allies.
Mm-hmm.
Might work with them, but I don't have no white allies. You know, that's the illusion of inclusion. You know, I know they talking about this racial justice. Oh, you scrubbing black people feet down. Oh my goodness. You know, now think about this. If they cared so much and put Black Lives Matter in front of the White House, right?
Mm-hmm.
Put reparations in front of in that block. Put reparations now, and let's see how the story changed. Last week, Joe Biden said, and I quote, he said, "Well, why don't we give reparations to Native Americans too?" Well, Joe Biden, did you forget that when you were in office, Barack Obama gave $3 billion to Native Americans every year. Most of these were white Native Americans at that, because you know that what Elizabeth Warren was trying to say, she was a Native American. She was not. They got what they call those $5 Indians,
Right.
quote unquote. So these were actually gonna be like a break for them too. So when Joe Biden's talking that crazy stuff about, oh, well, we need to get real nation of immigrants. No, black people are not immigrants. That's a lie. That's a lie. Number two things happened. You know, it's Pride Month. What happened this week in the Supreme Court? DACA.
Well, they got their civil rights respected, I guess. They the new black.
Off the backs of black folk on the 1964 civil rights law.
Yeah.
LGBT and transgenders. Now, if it's a church, I am disappointed in the black church, is a slap in the face. You're not standing up. You're acting like cowards. Y'all are weak. Y'all are suckers because you didn't stand up to this. You don't stand up for abortion. Just right here in Richmond, Virginia, and I'll send you a picture later. There is a Planned Parenthood clinic they made on North 25th Street in a black neighborhood.
Wow.
How in the hell did this happen? And now they're trying to gentrify it. They got a farmer's market and other things over there, but a Planned Parenthood clinic. Now, you know, let's get real about Planned Parenthood. Who started Planned Parenthood? Marjorie Sanger, American Birth Control League. How did she get it done? She said, I specifically want to eliminate the Negro population, but I got to get the black preacher to help me. This is not, I know they talk about pro-choice. What is pro-choice? You never know who that child could be. That child could be the next great thing. What did J. Edgar Hoover say? I want to destroy the black Messiah that will electrify the masses of the people. That's what J. Edgar Hoover said, right?
Yep.
So every time you kill a black baby, you could be killing another Messiah. Now, the other thing with J. Edgar Hoover, you know, just like the Civil Rights Movement, Black Panthers, and all organizations, how did he destroy these organizations? He destroyed these organizations from within. What is Black Lives Matter doing? They are getting corrupted and infiltrated from within. Same thing. This is a big counter. Why ain't they talking about these brothers being hanged? If you want to talk about Black Lives Matter, talk about those black men getting hanged. Talk about those people that my friend told me about in Baltimore yesterday. The black woman got killed with a baby in her stomach and her daughter got killed in Baltimore. Talk about that. Don't just talk about, you know, they have tricked us, Brother Ron, on the issue of police reform, saying that police reform is the number one thing. Yes, it's bad. I understand. But police reform is not what we need. If you give me the reparations, I can go on my own and I get my own. First of all, white people should not be policing black neighborhoods at all. They should not police black neighborhoods. Now, I want to talk to you about something that you told me the other night, and I like this comment you told me. This is interesting. Like you said, Nathan Bedford Forrest statue was up in Memphis, right?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
And the white people came to see Nathan Bedford Forrest, and you actually had interviews with the white people.
Right.
Sometimes, just as an experiment, you need to go walk and talk to them and see how they thinking. Don't go talk to the liberal one that's trying to be all nice. Oh, I love black people. You can't love me. You hate me. You're worse than. Matter of fact, I think the conservatives love me more than you. You're just a fraud. I was down here in Richmond, and it was the white people that was standing on the curb yelling with Black Lives Matter signs. There was 10 of them and one black girl, and I told them, "They're all white folks. Y'all are liars. Y'all ain't nothing. Y'all need to stop faking. You're not for me." Just like when I went to the City Hall building, all these white folks hanging out with Black Lives Matter signs and stuff. I didn't even acknowledge them. I wouldn't acknowledge them for one bit. I told the mayor, you was a sellout puppet. You ain't worth a damn. That's what I told the mayor. You're a white man in black skin. That's all you are. You know, I'm not advocating for him to be hurt or anything.
All
But
right.
they broke in his apartment building. They didn't break in his building, but they was at his apartment building and writing Stone is a sellout and everything like that. Well, I don't know if this is a Republican part of Virginia, I think, saying it, but whatever. I mean, I don't. He's a sellout. He serves corporate interests. I mean, he supports the LGBT and all this other loony stuff. He talks about gun reform and stuff like that. I said, look, I mean, I've seen him in the club once or twice with me. I mean, look, I have no respect for that clown. He's a sorry bad. I tell him exactly what he is to his face, just like I did on a microphone. I have no disrespect putting out black politicians, just as I would say the same thing to any white politician, Indian politician. Doesn't matter, because one thing about it, y'all don't work for the people. Y'all work for corporate interests and globalist interests. Some of y'all got money tied in the back pockets of Soros and the Open Society foundations. You can look this stuff up. This stuff is nothing new under the sun. I mean, like I said, the Congressional Black Caucus, as a matter of fact, you can tell the Congressional Black Caucus, go to hell and I hope you burn in it. If you don't serve the people and don't stand up, it's fuck you, because you ain't worth a damn. So, I mean, half of the Congressional Black Caucus fought. Well, they didn't fight for it, but they supported the crime bill. And that's why Joe Biden tell you every time the Congressional Black Caucus voted for it. They sold you out. They knew what the crime bill would do. Also, let's talk about one thing about the crime bill. NAFTA actually was a representative crime bill because they shipped the jobs overseas, but the crime bill was also to make up for the labor loss. I used to work in corrections. That's where they bill your license plates from, on a prison yard. How much are you paying for these license plates when you go to DMV? Probably about $50, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the people making them is making like 50 cents a day, 40 cents a day, maybe $1 a day, whatever.
All right.
So that goes to show you that a lot of things are made in prison. And until you abolish, now you see no Democratic or Republican politicians talk about, until you abolish the 13th Amendment, you have not ended slavery. That's what Kanye West was talking about. You got to get rid of the 13th Amendment. That's what you got to do if you want to end slavery, because slavery is still alive and well. As a matter of fact, I'm so happy that, like I said, I'm not a fan of Trump, but he's exposing this stuff and bringing it down to shreds. You go on February 26th, there's a document from Southern California. Google, Obama, Biden, Hillary, all these people are got artificial intelligence, child sex pedophilia, human trafficking, all it. If you remember that guy, Roger Stone, remember Roger Stone?
Yeah.
They didn't lock up Roger Stone for lying to Congress. They locked up Roger Stone because he had all the information on Pizzagate or Pedogate, and they were raping children. Anthony Weiner, his wife, Humana Abedin, or all these people. You got an elite sex trafficking ring, Oprah Winfrey. I think even Jay-Z and Beyonce even in it. These are some high-profile pedophiles. If you would take the time to rape and torture women and children, I don't care if you black, white, polka dot, you deserve to be in a casket. Nobody should rape or harm a child. Nobody. That is beyond the pale to rob a child, to molest a child. And all them sick people that love Oprah Winfrey and Gayle King, they need to daggone tell Gayle King and Oprah, stop supporting these people. I do not support any pedophilia, rape. You're a rapist. You are worse than scum. You're a scumbag. You don't even need to be living. And the one thing about it, look at Me Too. Them bunch of frauds. Lesbians and whatever they call them, Me Too, whatever they are, fuck Me Too. Because some fact of they fight for what they would call, I quote unquote, but they only attack mostly black men. Bill Cosby, R. Kelly. Why ain't Me Too attacking Joe Biden, who's got numerous counts? I mean, they even attacked Trump or whatever, but is Me Too not going to attack child pedophilia? Are you not going to attack Hillary Clinton and what they're doing to children? International slavery, sex trafficking organizations, rings. I mean, you know, Allison Mack of Smallville.
Mm-hmm.
She just got arrested the other day for a child sex pedophilia thing.
Hmm.
We gotta change our narrative, brother Hurd. We gotta go back to the foundation of the black family. 1 in 4 black women only gets married, and I think it's even probably worse because now they want to be integrated with white people and all this stuff. I don't agree with that at all. The black man need to be with the black woman. Black woman need to be with the black man. Now that depends on yeah, I guess if you want to marry, Caribbean, Jamaican, whatever. But we got to understand something.
Mm.
We talk about reparations. Don't let anybody lie to you. All no jokes aside, that should be for foundational black Americans who were products of a slave. You can tell almost that who you were a slave by. Because think about this. I'm just giving you this example. If you're, I may have to look up your name, but if you go through the genealogy, my
Mm-hmm.
name is Johnson, somebody else's name is so and so, right?
Mm-hmm.
Larry Johnson said it best in 1999 about him and Avery Johnson. This was a basketball game. Come think about it. We both came off the Johnson plantation. Well, guess what? It's true. He's actually telling the truth. You had
Mm-hmm.
to come off the Johnson plantation. If you look in other Africa, you go to Africa, which I haven't been, but if you look at their names are different. You can tell what your name is that you had to have some slave ancestry because these are American names. You
Mm.
know, your name is Hurd, etc. Harris. These are slave names, brother. You can tell those things by the context of what they're saying. Now, I know I gotta ask you. Like I've been talking. I want to know more about Memphis, Tennessee, because I definitely got to put this out so people know what's going on in Memphis.
Yeah.
So I want to
Well,
hear.
I wouldn't take fashion advice from Russell Westbrook, let alone political advice. I wouldn't take nothing from these weaponized celebrities. But they just took down the statue of Albert Pike in D.C. for I guess it was the so-called George Floyd Juneteenth protest, whatever they was doing. And Albert Pike for the longest, it was the only, I guess, Confederate general honor in the nation's capital. But interesting about Albert Pike, I mean, he was also the founder of the Ku Klux Klan, and he was a Confederate general for Native Americans. When Joe Biden talks about we should pay the Native Americans reparation, a lot of those so-called civilized tribes own black people. Matter of fact, a
Yeah,
couple of years ago, the descendants of the free black men sued the Cherokee Nation in court and won. These are descendants of black folks who ancestors were owned by Native Americans. So it's really a complex history. And I think that what we got to do as a people right now, since we got all the technology and the resources, we got to start teaching out. No, you said genealogy. We got to start looking at our family trees, learning our roots and whatnot, because what make a lot of immigrants strong, even illegal immigrants that come over here, is they have an identity. They know their mother tongue. They know the history of their people. They stand on a strong and firm foundation. And to get back to what brothers Marcus Garvey said over 100 years ago, he said modern life will be the death of the Negro people. Everything that we adapt ain't good for us. No, we take the good and the bad. Like a brother from Virginia named Dr. Carter G. Woodson. He said we want the good and the bad the white folks has to offer. And right before Dr. King got killed, he talked about we integrated into a burning house. We lost our moral compass as a people. And so, we get it confused with assimilation with integration. We really wanted integration where we kept our identity intact, but now we assimilated. We don't even know who we are. And you speak about these weaponized celebrities and athletes, like 50 something years ago, we had a brother like Muhammad Ali, who folks were from Louisville, Kentucky, where they killed their sister Breonna Taylor. Muhammad Ali was trained by a white cop how to box. His early career was controlled by a powerful white businessman from Louisville. That's how he was protected from the draft board from all those years, right? But he came up in a household where his parents were Garveyites and they knew Jesus was black. You know what I'm saying? he had a strong identity who he was. He could recall where he was at when he heard the news about Emmett Till because they were about the same age. So that affected him. So you got brothers that have identified with the struggle. You know, they had people like white handlers handling their career. You had people like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. That was definitely he pro-black. I mean, historian, very conscious of the black man. You had Jim Brown. Who came out the Georgia Islands and stuff like that. His career was helped by white people, but he knew who he was, and he always gave back and reached back. So we got a lot of people, even though got all this information at our fingertips, we're not really researching and understanding who we are in our context in this struggle. Like today, for example, this is Father's Day. 56 years ago on Father's Day, you had the kidnapping and murder of Michael Swerner, James Chaney, and Andrew Goodman. Excuse me, the three civil rights workers. This was like the first days of Freedom Summer. They was investigating the church burning down there in Mississippi. They were kidnapped by the police. People always tell me, well, this is a recent phenomenon. The FBI said that the white nationalists and the Klan integrated with the police. They always been the police. Klan always been the police. They've been the slave patrol. So they kidnapped these guys, held them against their will, let them go. Police, along with the other Klansmen, everybody came, lynched them, buried them in an earthen dam. Now, I say this is interesting because James Chaney was the only one who had a child out of the three civil rights workers. He was a brother. He was 21 years old. His daughter was 11 days old. She never met her father. So he was dead at 21, never met his child. And I interviewed his daughter on the 50th anniversary of them exhuming their bodies on August 4th, 1964. Their bodies was discovered in the earthen dam. Dick Gregory had something to do with that. He helped locate the bodies of Swerner, Chaney, and Goodman. So you got a bro like Dick Gregory, who was not only an entertainer, but he really was a soldier for the movement. Dick Gregory did a lot of things he don't get credit for. He helped a lot of black folks out. He loved black people. But I talk about it all the time, and he was the inspiration for Freedom Summer. When the government under Kennedy, this is a Democrat, JFK, he cut off the benefits to the black folks in Greenwood, Mississippi, because they dared to register to vote back in '63. So they were denied their welfare benefits, all types of stuff, food stamps they couldn't get. Dick Gregory took upon himself to charter a plane with thousands of supplies of food and all types of rations, food and all that stuff, and gave it out on his own dime to the people of Greenwood, to the black folks of Greenwood. And he was the inspiration for what is now known as Freedom Summer. Because all them guys saw what Dick Gregory is one black person did who cared about black people. He did it on his own without no government assistance. The government cut them off. These are Kennedys, right? The so-called Democrats, the Kennedys love black folks. They had to get Dr. King out of prison. They were about to kill Dr. King down in Georgia back in 1960, right? October 1960. Jackie Robinson, who was a Republican, black folks because of Party Lincoln, he begged Richard Nixon to get Dr. King out of jail. Dr. King was a Republican. JFK, he talked to the governor of Georgia, who was a Democrat. He was for JFK, long they was too for the Negro. He said, can y'all do something to help? We'll do what we can, Mr. President. We'll do what we can. We'll expedite. But then, the Kennedy campaign reached out to Harry Belafonte. They had a surrogate named Louis Martin, a black businessman. And they reached out to Harry Belafonte to help swing the black vote in favor of Kennedy. And he told him, look, the brother you need is a brother down there on that chain gang about to get killed. So they did what they could. Kennedy, JFK called Coretta, gave his well wishes, I'm with you, and they got out to the press, and that actually helped swung the black vote in favor of Kennedy, because you had black folks that still can vote in some parts in the South, especially in the North. And Jackie Robinson was so disappointed. He was crying. He said, man, why you didn't do this? You should have did this. And Dr. King, he didn't endorse Kennedy, but what he said was, man, he was kind of disappointed because he talked to Richard Nixon a lot of times. I mean, he had more of a relationship with Richard Nixon, being him a Republican, than he did with JFK. But he thanked JFK for allowing him because Coretta was pregnant with his third child at the time. I think it was Dexter. She was pregnant with. So there's a lot of history we don't know, but you can look that all up. Summary. But Memphis was a unique place because, like I told you earlier, Memphis was like one of the few places in the South where black folks still had the franchise as long as they voted a certain way. You had the Boss Crump machine. And I say this interest because I said that Republicans, the party of Lincoln, Frederick Douglass, black folks, longtime Republicans, you had a strong Republican presence via the Church family. Robert Church Sr. was the first black millionaire of the South. He owned a lot of real estate. He was a survivor of the Memphis Race Massacre of 1866. These white men, which was started by the police, all these riots and massacres normally started by police misconduct. That's American history. That's not police. So-called law and order started the damn riots and the massacres. So they came into a saloon on Bill Street. This back in May of 1866. These white folks shot him point blank range in the head. He survived, testified before Congress. That led to the Reconstruction era happening. That incident, the Memphis Race Massacre of 1866, started by white police. And you know what's interesting? I live right across the street from where they shot Dr. King in the face and where the Memphis Race Massacre started. There's
Billy
historic
Cow.
markers at both places.
Don't,
So I
don't
wake up
forget
every day
Billy
with the
Cow.
ancestors on me.
Billy Cows. Billy
Yeah,
Cow.
Billy Cow, yeah, the Memphis police informant. See, but you know, I went to his wake at the Civil Rights Museum. You know what I'm saying? He did that documentary called Witness Room 306, Fabricated Lie. I went to the premiere of that at the Peabody. I met Billy Cows. He lied the whole time because really the last hour of Dr. King's life, he did a meeting with the SCLC, the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, and he was getting ready for the dinner at Cow's home. So he didn't spend an hour of his life, you know, telling dirty reverend jokes with Billy Cows and Ralph Abernathy. He was getting ready, and his brother was here. You know, A.D. King, who got killed the next year under questionable circumstances, was with his brother in Memphis. And I mean, it was proven December 8th, 1999, in the civil court here in Memphis that the government was complicit in the assassination of Dr. King. And there was a media blackout here, but the foreign news covered it, but the mainstream media didn't, or mainstream or fake news didn't cover it. And the thing about it is, it proves that you know, Dr. King did this speech in Riverside Church of New York, April 4th, 1967. He was
Yeah.
dead April 4th, 1968. They making a statement on that one, and I had a chance to catch a talk that I got on my YouTube channel, We All Be TV, that Reverend Albert Sampson gave. He was Dr. King's housing director at the Southern Christian Leadership Conference. And he also one of the few people that actually was ordained by Dr. King. Maybe he's one of three. He's a Morehouse alum. He actually met, I think, Dr. King when they formed SNCC in Raleigh up at the Black HBC at the HBCU. I forgot Shaw University. They formed SNCC, Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, up at Shaw back in 1960, I believe. And so he was well acquainted with King, but he said that Dr. King called a meeting back in August of 1966 and told them that a black FBI agent from California told him that he would be assassinated by the government. So Dr. King already knew he was a marked man. And when Dr. King went to attend President Kennedy's funeral procession, I think Walter Funtroy was with him, the future congressman and the secretary of SCLC. He told Walter Funtroy that if they could do that to a president, I won't make it to 40. But Dr. King thought they were going to kill him at the Poor People's Campaign in D.C. Because what people don't understand, like 5 years previous, that the March on Washington was a very much organized, kind of like a Black Lives Matter granddaddy event. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Where it was controlled by the money interests and by the Kennedy
Yes.
administration and by the
Kennedy
so-called
controlled
white
that.
liberals, right?
Kennedy
And
controlled
I
that,
always
brother.
tell people too that they need to check out to understand what's going on. Look to the past. Like we just had Juneteenth. Do the Sankofa thing where you look back to the past for understanding of the present and for the blueprint for the future. Malcolm X laid out what they do to us, how they co-opt our movements, how they hijack it. Just listen to his message to the grassroots from November 10th, 1963. He made a reference to like the fox. He said that the Republicans are like wolves, the Democrats are like foxes. One shows you their teeth, the other hides it in the way they approach you. Very sly like, right? But he lays out, he named the names. He tell you how they picked the black leadership, the so-called Big Six. He tell you the money man behind it. He talks about the Dixiecrats, like the Dickie Russell guy, the senator from Georgia, and Lyndon B. Johnson, Lyon Lyndon. You know, he talk about all that stuff, right? It's under an hour. I just tell people, if y'all gonna do anything about Malcolm, if y'all gonna wear the X and quote the quotes and posters, do yourself a favor. Listen to that whole speech in its entirety. Then you can understand what George Soros and the Black Lesbian Matters movement is all about, and the Trojan horse psyop it is. How they use black pain for their white gain, you know, and profit
Let
margin.
me say something about that, because a lot of people don't know that. That
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna call it the March on Washington, but I call it the farce on
Yeah,
Washington.
what
Because
Malcolm said. Yeah,
you're gonna have another farce on Washington by sellout, snitch, no good, needs to be in a casket, Al Sharpton,
right.
who is a trained FBI informant,
Oh,
admitted it to you.
we got the paperwork on it too. We got the paperwork.
And I'm like, I don't beat to the tune of Al Sharpton.
Mm-hmm.
This guy, what is it? It used to be called Black Action Network. Now it's National Action Network. He's actually trying to tell you that really, to tell you the truth, this ain't no black movement no more.
Mm.
Now, look at 1963. Martin Luther King was told by Kennedy, you can come, but you got to be out of Washington by 7 o'clock. This is a sundown town.
Yeah, so downtown. That's
Sundown
right.
town.
It is Washington in the South, though, right? That's really the South still. Between
Yes.
Maryland and Virginia, that's the South.
He told him this is a sundown town, right? He
Mm-hmm.
told him you cannot just have this march. You can't talk about just black people. You got to bring out all people in it.
Right.
And just like Black Lives Matter, it's become an all, like, including that they even thrown some what they would call illegal immigrants in the meeting, quote unquote, you know. And I'm like, see, a lot of black people was saying this week, oh, we happy they passed DACA. Well,
Right.
actually, they're wrong. They did DACA got approved, but it was an executive order, and all Trump has to go back and do is file an arbitrary and get it removed. He just didn't fill out the paperwork the right way. But the fact that the NAACP would support DACA, but I'm not even a fan of Byron Allen, but they NAACP won't out there for Byron Allen on his Supreme Court case. You had some $8 people out there, but Byron Allen.
But he pimping us too because it's not black owned if you sleep in white.
Yeah.
It's not 100% black owned if you sleep in white.
Well, that's why I say I'm not a fan of him because he's still sleeping white.
Yeah.
Including a lot of your NBA players sleeping white in ETC. To dilute you, to give you this integrationist mindset. But
he got us, like he said, it's 100% black owned. Your children ain't even 100% black, bro. So how is it 100% black owned?
Yeah.
He from Detroit, Obama, Chicago. Y'all Mac Daddy, Pimp Daddy, sweet talk language.
Yeah.
Talk you out your panties and talk you to sleep.
He did admit that Obama and Al Sharpton tried to block him out. But that was to get us to fall for the game. Like I said, you know, because you know all you got to do is say, oh, I'm black. Oh, I support black people. Wait a minute, Byron Allen. Come on, man. You got a white wife, man. Chill out, man. You so black. Where your black wife at? You know, you got biracial children. Once again, still showing you what he's really about. But I'm gonna say this about the NAACP. By the fact that they're supporting DACA, that already tells you. It tells you National Association of Colored People. It does not say National Association of Black People. The NAACP was founded by Jews.
Yep.
Jews and W.E.B. Du Bois. And one thing about the NAACP, and people need to go back and research this, DACA, while they had a poll that came out one day, and they had Latinos that actually didn't favor DACA, with more black people favoring DACA. But here's the thing. I don't have nothing against anybody, but by supporting DACA as a black person, especially a black man, which is a lot of black, really they don't tell you, a lot of black men vote for Trump just on DACA alone. I know people in New York, I know people in Baltimore that had black men that had construction companies. DACA was a policy built, was an executive order built by Obama to crush the black man in the top 10 black cities in America. Obama did nothing to stop black people from gentrifying. Matter of fact, since Obama was in office, look at Chicago, Detroit, Washington, D.C., the top 10 black cities in the United States are gentrification zones. You either got black people homeless, that's one thing, or black men cannot find a job. When Obama left office, a lot of people say, oh, he got black unemployment down. Now, look, brother, you're in Memphis. You know this. I looked it up one day. There are a lot of temp companies in Memphis. The black men won't get hired in no damn temp companies.
We still got a lot of them. You're right. You're right. We one of the temp capitals, man.
7.6 unemployment when Obama died. But people need to be, I mean, when he left office, right? But really, to tell you the truth, at one point it was 16.3%. The unemployment rate never really went down that much. Really, what happened was unemployment has a cap. You can only get it for a certain amount of time. The reason it went down because so many people had fell off the rolls and just resorted to a life of crime, death, destruction,
Mm-hmm.
or they were living homeless. Once you're homeless, you're not even counted on unemployment
You
rolls.
invisible. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So the unemployment rate never went down under Obama because it was 58% for black youth. But that's what Trump was talking about in the city of Detroit. Now, I got a thing to tell you. I always say no reparations, no vote. But also another little thing here.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't have the economy, you shouldn't be voting anyway because you cannot control a politician if you don't have the money to put him in office. You can't control his behavior.
All right.
He's gonna betray you every time.
Mm.
Stop, stop going for symbolism and substance. You know something funny? As bad as people think Donald Trump is, Donald Trump did say the reparations conversation is interesting. And you done had that sorry, despicable Black Caucus, Maxine Waters, and all those frauds sit right there and ain't met with Donald Trump in 3 years and knowing you could have got reparations. You probably look, what is Donald Trump? What's the book he got? The Art of the Deal.
Right.
He is a person that wants to win. You go to him and tell him to pass reparations. A lot of people say Barack Obama tried to pass criminal justice reform. The Republicans didn't let him. No, he was weak. Because one thing about it wasn't about that. Obama fought to keep 50,000 black men in jail, including Detroit's own Kwame Kilpatrick.
Mm.
That brother shouldn't have been getting released in 2037. You know, it's kind of wild. You know, Angela Stanton King, I know you heard of her, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now you would think about this, just going by the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., right?
Mm-hmm.
If Donald Trump is so bad, then why do Martin Luther King kinfolk support Donald Trump? Alveda King, Angela Stanton King, and these people. Obviously, know he's pro-choice, pro-gun, and he said it best last night. I'm for the forgotten man and woman. And I'm not relating it to black people as far as because we always get screwed anyway, right? But
Part, yeah.
but he made one point. You are the elite, not these elites. You are the people, the power of the people will always stand. We are the elite. We are the chosen people of God. We are the original man on the planet. So we are the elite. That's us. So, you know, and the white man knows that. As a matter of fact, come to think about it, not only does he know it, that's why he works so hard to try to stop you. Any item we get in, if whether it's a religion, politics, money, we will thrive in it. Number one, if you go look right now, I think it's about almost 18 states right now where the white birth rate is less than the death rate. They're dying in miraculous numbers right now. This will no longer be a majority white country in a couple of years. I mean, maybe about 20 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're dying off. Opioid use, suicide, you know, hey, you know, but however, they got their weaponized celebrities that think white. It's nothing worse than a black man with a white mind because he will fill out the agenda for the white man regardless if he skin color or not. And that's what you got with the Congressional Black Caucus. You might well call them the Congressional White Caucus, real, to be honest with you. The way they think.
I call them the graham cracker caucus. Graham crackers. Like Paul Mooney call them graham crackers. Some folks call them Negro pins, but I call them graham crackers.
Like I'm gonna say this about what's the name? John Lewis. You're 80 years old. Please get out of public life. Spare me. You know, they beat you in the 60s. You know, I'm sorry they beat you. But hey, you know, I mean, sometimes I sit there and say, they didn't do a good job now of beating you for you betrayed me. Clyburn, you're a coon, sellout, you're scum. You let Nancy Pelosi come up with kente cloth to mock us, which was completely disgraceful. And that's another thing I'm going to say, Brother Hurd. We let people assimilate too much. Nancy Pelosi said, oh, I wish I had a black grandchild. Nancy Pelosi, spare me the nonsense, please. I don't even want. Why don't you talk about though your family who was part of the mob that raped them black girls back in the 1950s? You were a friend of Jim Jones. What did Jim Jones do? Took those black folks down to Guyana and had them killed, drinking that Sunnyside Kool-Aid. So when you look at who Nancy Pelosi is connected to, matter of fact, look now you're right in Memphis. I
Mm-hmm.
got friends in Arkansas.
Right.
Good friend of mine. Hope I go see her soon or whatever. But you know, isn't Bill Clinton from Arkansas?
I mean, it's a gangster state. Bill Clinton was an organized crime product. I mean, his mama was the head nurse for Oni Madden, who used to run a cotton club back in the day. He ran hot springs for decades. So that was a
Yeah.
gangster hideout, you know, a gangster paradise. You had people like Al Capone who come to vacation to Hot Springs, and they caught Lucky Luciano down there when he was on the run for white slavery charges from New York back in 1936. So Bill Clinton is very well acquainted with organized crime. When he was governor, you had the Mena, Arkansas thing. You know that movie American Made with Tom Cruise that talks about Barry Seal, who worked for the CIA, bringing in drugs from South America, going to Mena, Arkansas, to the airport controlled by the CIA, where they distribute all this crack cocaine throughout the nation, Iran Contra style. So
Speaking of
yeah,
that, brother. Speaking of that, it's a book I've been reading. I bought it and a while back. I'm still reading it, but it's a book called. Can you see that? Operation
Operation
Paperclip.
Paperclip. I know I'm familiar with Operation Paperclip.
Okay. Well, Operation Paperclip tells you how the CIA infiltrated the media organizations to give you false information. It's a wonderful documentary out there called Outer Shadows. Now, I'll send it to you later. You can watch it. But it shows you how all your corporations are controlled by 6 companies, basically.
Right.
Operation Paperclip told you how the CIA. I know you heard of this one, Operation Mockingbird. I know you heard of that.
Yeah, Operation Mockingbird is the media thing they got. Yeah.
And they actually have controlled the media campaign to tell you. But this is the thing I want to say to all black people. You got the Freedom of Information Act, right?
Mm-hmm.
Use it. Everything you find out that I'm saying, I'm not even going to tell you if I haven't looked it up. I would say you might need to go to another source like our good brother, Dr. Randy Short, who is got way, I mean, you think I know something. I can't even, I mean, you know, I'm good, but he's got so much, he's like a walking encyclopedia, you know?
Oh yeah.
So
Also, Operation Paperclip is referring to when the Nazis was brought over here by the American government with the help of the Vatican, when they infiltrated the space program, the Central Intelligence Agency, pharmaceuticals, and everything. So we really, America is a Nazification of, it's a Nazification of America. But the Nazis never lost World War II. Germany as a country lost World War II, but Nazis as a principle, as an organization, they survived. They went to America, South America, to even Antarctic. So
let's
people need
say
to
something.
understand Operation Odyssey and Operation Paperclip.
Well,
Be
listen, let's
household
say
names.
something about Hitler right quick. Come to think about it, since we're on it. A lot of people think Hitler just was killing Jews, right?
Right.
He was killing a certain type of Jews. He had a called the Havara Agreement where the Jews let him kill those Jews too.
Of course. Hitler helped found Israel. He's a founder member of Israel.
Yes.
Is he really that bad? That's the thing. They always talk about Hitler. Is he really that bad where they don't want to forget about him?
No, because what the United States government won't tell you.
Mm-hmm.
They took the Nazi scientists that Hitler got and used them to put for abortion purposes here. Also, check this out. If you realize what's going on now with the Black Lives Matter movement and Antifa, right?
Mm-hmm.
Antifa kind of remind you of Hitler's brown shirts,
Yeah.
SA's unit,
Yeah.
which was a gay movement, and Hitler had to kill them.
The Knights of Long, Knife of the Knights of the Long Knives. Yeah, Knight of
Yes.
the Long Knives.
So
Yeah.
that goes to show you history always repeats itself, but by you don't know the history. When we talk about slavery, right? They talk about taking their statues, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's not my concern. My concern is telling the true history of slavery. Telling me about how you used to use black children as alligator bait.
Right.
Tell me when you used to, they talk about a lynching, right?
Mm-hmm.
Tell me when you used to take my eye, my leg. You wanted a souvenir,
Right.
my phallus. Everything. You wanted everything, every body part of me.
Mm-hmm.
Now, another thing, they keep on talking about lynching, right?
Yeah.
They keep on talking about this anti-lynch bill in Congress. Immaterial
Mm.
anti-lynch bill, right?
Right.
But they not telling you this anti-lynch bill got language in it to protect LGBTQ.
Well, they the new black in it.
Yeah, using the 1964 Civil Rights Act, which is a slap in the face.
Right.
Like I said, say what you want about Trump, but Trump never used the word people of color. Notice all the Democrats use people of color to throw you in a diluted box.
Right.
Donald Trump always says black or African American.
Or the blacks. Right. He understands the importance of identifying and being specific about who he addressed.
Hispanic American, Asian
Mm-hmm.
American.
Mm-hmm.
He always says it. And I say that's why I appreciate Trump. Not because I like him, but he tells you exactly. Because when you say people of color, you are diluting the message again and saying everybody. Let's look at this word minority for a second, right?
Mm-hmm.
Minority means whoever's the lower, who got the least numbers in a box, right?
Right.
So LGBT is a fabricated minority.
Mm.
Asian is not a race; it's an ethnicity. Latino not a race; it's an ethnicity. You got, if you go to a job application, doesn't it say Hispanic white on there?
Mm-hmm.
Or non-Hispanic whites?
Yeah.
Well, a lot of people don't know on that Census Bureau that you fill out, those Latinos actually register as white people. You don't even have many white people in the country you think you do. They're actually masking themselves under the guise of somebody else. By the way,
Yeah.
you got the census this year tell you do not even have to be a citizen. What is that about? You know what I mean? Like,
You can't trust the numbers. People lie. Numbers don't lie, but numbers tell a story they want you to tell. The way you control the
yes.
narrative.
So
There's more
this,
black people in America than people think. I believe
of course, of course it is.
that.
Well, in the 2000 census, they actually had came up with a number that said that a lot of white people found out they had black DNA in them, and they were shocked. They freaked out when they found out in the early 2000s that.
Well, it's gonna be a lot more when they get this reparation check coming. They'll be claiming black. A lot more gonna be claiming black. Them checks come. They coming. I believe that stuff's gonna happen sometime soon. I believe it.
Well, not only do these things can happen, but this is what I'm gonna say.
Mm-hmm.
If you get reparations, brother, you cannot go back and ask them for anything. You need to come together. Because one thing about it, some white people want the reparation to happen because it could be a stimulus package for them too. Because think about this. Look at this. July 7th this year, they're talking about this blackout thing, right?
Right.
On the same day, they talking about releasing a new Jordan tennis shoe. On the same day. Come on, man. Look, for everybody, please don't go buy Michael Jordan tennis shoes. As a matter of fact, don't buy his tennis shoes no more in your life. Michael Jordan does not care about you. He's only doing it to fill out his brand, just like that Last Dance farce. You don't think Michael Jordan ain't never done nothing for black people in his life, hardly. And now he's going to come out and say, oh, I understand racial justice. Yeah, Michael Jordan, you're a sellout. I tell him what he is. He's a sellout. I mean, that's what
he
he
didn't
is.
even support. You remember, like some years ago, when Harvey Gantt, I think the former mayor of Charlotte, ran against Jesse Helms Jr. for the Senate spot, and he wouldn't even support Harvey Gantt, even though he's from North Carolina. He's from where I forgot the name, Wilmington. That's where Jordan's from. He's from Wilmington, North Carolina, where they had a big race riot led by the Democrats, destroyed a black elected government, a fusion government back in 1898. But he said, because Republicans buy shoes too, I can't support you. But he supported Bill Bradley when he ran for president in 2000, and now he's a little bit more vocal. But also, I have not seen The Last Dance, but I think it's interesting. Nobody ever talks about the fact that one of Michael Jordan's sisters accused their father of sexual molesting her with the mother's knowledge. He
Well,
actually disowned that sister. No, see, this is how powerful the media is. They could take a story and frame it the way they want to frame it. It's like with Rodney King. Now you found out that George Floyd had other people in the car with him. Rodney King had two other guys in the car with him when he got pulled over. One of them guys getting killed in a car accident not too long after that.
speaking of George Floyd, I wanted to bring that situation up. Like I said, I'm glad the brother lost his life, but they have this thing called, what the white race does, called race war psyops, or psychological operation, right?
Mm-hmm.
And every time during election year, they bring up things just like this COVID thing. I mean, this is a political thing. Like yesterday, now you've been seeing thousands of people protesting in the street, right? For the George Floyd, right?
Right.
So you say. But one black man is not gonna make white people just jump up and support that, right?
Right.
Okay, now if you believe that, I got land to sell you. All right. And I'm living in a townhouse. You know, I can tell you my townhouse, and you believe that bullshit. But look at this in a context. George Floyd dies. You have thousands of people protest the street, and the Democrats supported it, right?
Yeah.
Donald Trump has a rally, and they say, "Oh no, COVID is going through the roof in Tulsa, Oklahoma."
Right.
Okay, so what's really going on here, right? Okay, now go to the CDC website. The death rate of COVID is 0.03. 99.7% of people will live. And also, they said that actually wearing masks will harm you. You know, wearing a mask actually keeps the infection in you when your body is trying to release the toxins out. Notice you got this guy named Anthony Fauci, one of the wickedest devils alive. Right, he worked with Robert Gallows. I know you know who Robert Gallows is.
Yeah, the HIV stuff.
The French. Anthony Fauci worked to put AIDS on the continent of Africa to destroy the African people. A lot of people think that AIDS was a quote unquote, that's what we would call. They say you got it from a monkey, whatever bullshit.
Right. We call it green monkey or something. That's crazy.
I got another book right here. That I've been reading, Plague Wars.
Okay.
Terrifying reality of biological warfare. Well, Anthony Fauci and all of them were biological warfare agents. You know, it's one thing that Trump says, and I'm going to tell you this. What did he always talk about? The deep state.
Right.
Well, you really do have a deep state of elected bureaucrats, CIA agents, and stuff. Now,
you can't vote them in or out either. They don't go by no damn vote.
when he talks about draining the swamp, that's what he's talking about. He said it last night in his rally. I never knew the swamp was so deep.
Yeah.
I mean, and when you got Obama in there, Obama and Bush, as a matter of fact, them two alone, you got a lot of swamp creatures because
they cousins, they related, you know.
Yes. Don't you think Obama should have tried to prosecute George Bush for his war crimes?
That's family. It'd be awkward at on family reunions and whatnot. I'm trying to explain that one.
Dick Cheney, war crimes, right?
Yeah.
But one thing about it, a lot of people don't even talk about Obama's war crimes or what he was doing. Look at Obama's family and all these people that are tied into oil business. Think about that blowout in the Gulf rig where all those oil execs should have been prosecuted for that big spill.
Yeah.
Obama pardoned all those people. Like, I mean, you want to talk about, like I said, all politicians are corrupt. But like I said, Obama, he is one of the most corrupt people, along with Hillary Clinton and all of them. Just like that, what is it? What's the other one? It's another guy that was in there. Put it this way, you had a lot of mysterious killing going on Obama watch too. People just ended up dead. I think there was an ambassador. I think he got killed in a plane or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a lot of weird stuff.
It's always like the Clinton body count, Obama. Even when Obama announced that he was running for president in Springfield, Illinois, back in 2007, I remember that. I think it was February 2007. By the end of the year, you had 2 black gay men that went to his church. They were dead, home invasion, execution style. They were connected to Obama. I mean, even one of the guys' mom went on Chicago media and said my son was killed because of this. You know, that white dude came out with that book. His name, he did the yeah, but you know, they went to court. He won the lawsuit, whatever he won in court. But Obama, I met in Memphis, 2013, February 2013. I was at Central Barbecue, one of my favorite barbecue places in Memphis, on Central Avenue. And I had a friend from Chicago come and visit, and we went there. And I saw this guy named Harry Lennox III. I don't know if people know who Harry Lennox III is, but yeah, he's a light-skinned cat with the cleft chin. He was on the 5 Heartbeats, and he played Adam Clayton Powell Jr. and Keep the Faith. Baby with Vanessa Williams as Hazel Scott, and then also he was the general in the Superman movies that came out recently. But he was in the Barbershop movie with Ice Cube, one of the Barbershop movies. But I saw him sitting with one of his friends that was on a road trip, and I went up to him. I said, "Man, you Harry Lennox third?" He said, "Yeah, I'm Harry." He's from Chicago. "Yeah, I'm Harry Lennox. Yes, yes." I said, "Man, if they ever," I said, "I love you in the Adam Clayton Powell movie. If they ever did a movie about Obama, you'd be the perfect Obama." He started looking at me and his friend. They started smiling. Come to find out that allegedly Harry Lennox admitted on a radio show afterwards on the Man Cow show in Chicago. Y'all can look this up online. The Man Cow show. Harry Lennox. He said that he was hired by the intelligence officials to teach Obama how to be presidential. Now, if you study and watch Harry Lennox in his movies, Obama kind of manner him. This is back in the 90s. He said he was approached by the CIA or somebody like this. And we want to hire you to teach Obama how to act presidential. Obama's like a Ronald Reagan type of cat, like a imagine he a B movie type of dude, could read off the teleprompter, articulate whatever, but really an empty suit. Excuse me. But also, while Obama, I don't believe. See, Obama legitimized Joe Biden. Joe Biden would be nobody if it wasn't for Obama allowing him to be his vice president for 8 years. He would not even be presidential nominee for the Democratic Party, presumptively. And also with Donald Trump, by that birther movement, he legitimized Donald Trump by showing his so-called birth certificate. So Obama is really at blame for both Biden and Trump being relevant right now. But I don't
Yeah.
believe that his dad was Kenyan. I believe his dad was Frank Marshall Davis, a black man from America. If you look at a picture between Obama, his mom, and that Frank Marshall Davis guy, they talk about in his book Dreams from My Father, they look like they had a baby called Barack Obama. If you look at Frank Marshall Davis, I seen videos of him speaking. Obama's got some of his mannerisms with the mouth and the eyes. I mean, it looked like okay, that's Barack Obama's daddy more so than the Kenyan. But that's my take on it.
Well, um, it just shows, but you know what it shows you though? It
What's that?
shows you that you know he say he lived in Indonesia, right? So,
Yeah,
well, hey brother, ain't that many black people living in Indonesia, brother?
you can't relate. You know when he was running, they said I remember back in 2008, is he black enough to be president? The media say stupid stuff. We go along with it. Like what president was ever black enough to be black people president? You know what I'm saying? Let alone Obama, but he's so exotic. Like you say, he lived in Indonesia and Hawaii. He's not from that slave narrative that we are from. He don't have that angry black man thing about him, like a lot of us do. Cause our people, what we've been through as a people, and the generational trauma, and our own personal traumas. He doesn't have that.
Yeah, well, but it shows you, that what you're doing. It shows you that when you look at something, when you see it in your face, right,
Mm-hmm.
and then you see what it is. See, unfortunately, and I'll say this: we attacked Donald Trump for the birther thing, right?
Right.
But we forget Hillary Clinton said the same thing, right?
She said he might get assassinated when he was running. Like, what happened to Bobby Kennedy? She said that type of stuff. Right. They were doing like race baiting and stuff. Even Bill Clinton. Yeah.
Okay. Well, if you look at it like this, brother, don't believe it's not true. Go look it up for yourself, and you'll see the birth certificate yourself. Everything digitized. You can pick it up yourself. And whether you
Mm-hmm.
believe it or not is the question. But the fact that Donald Trump said it, a lot of things Donald Trump said, you go back and look, it is true.
Well,
Whether
I
you
give an
like,
example. I give an example of that back in 2016 when he was running against Ted Cruz, and he said that Ted Cruz did kill Kennedy, helped kill JFK, and people say, "Oh my, he crazy." But there's a picture allegedly that's real legit of Lee Harvey Oswald standing next to a guy that looked like Ted Cruz's father down in New Orleans doing that fair play for Cuba mess.
well, yeah, that's what I always say about. See, I just don't think the media just don't like Trump revealing this thing. But let's go to the real deal with Donald Trump, and I'm going to bring this to you.
Mm-hmm.
Every celebrity you like, you can name including Al Sharpton and Jesse Jackson,
Mm-hmm.
got pictures with Trump, Michael Jackson, whoever. So to act like y'all guys ain't hanging around Trump, what they used to say, and Young Jesus said it, I'm Donald Trump in a black tee and white one. Wu-Tang say I'm the black Trump. Where did all this vibe trial come from? And I can go right on my phone and pick up all these people that hung with Trump. Even Judge says black businessmen you know, you had to get loans from Trump for business. Donald Trump don't care if you black, white, polka dot, whatever. As long as you got the money, you can be around him. That's what
Yeah,
he
he
about.
like celebrity. He's a celebrity. He like people with power and influence. And like also, you could go a lot of rapper discographies. They talk about Donald Trump. Even Memphis Man had Donald Trump on a skit on his Judgment Day album like 22 years ago. No, it's the Donald. We don't come out the album, Melf. And you got cats big up. The only guy I can say that did not big up Donald Trump in his prime is the late great Tupac Amaru Shakur. He kept it
Yeah.
100. He the only kid I know in rap that ever kept it 100, and he was the real deal. And even today, they try to shit on his legacy. And folks that say they're his friends, they not upholding the legacy. So with Trump, I don't hate Trump because I think it's fishy that the media is so into hating Trump. And like Malcolm said, the media make your friend your enemy and your enemy your friend. And something about Donald Trump that I like Donald Trump. Donald Trump is blacker to me than Barack Obama is. I can relate to Don. He got the swag. He from Queens. He kind of like 50 Cent was president, king of trolls. I mean, he got the snappy comebacks. I mean, he's smart. He thinks fast. He's a businessman. I get it, but I don't think he's the bad guy in this equation. I can even say, well, the people accuse me of being too pro Trump with some of my people. But here's the thing: Donald Trump daddy was a Klansman. You know, we got the proof of this because of from this New York Times article,
Yeah.
June of 1927. You can Google this up. They arrested this dude named Fred Trump of Queens for fighting the police. The Klan and the police got into a fight up in New York back in the 1920s. You know what I'm saying? And they said they arrested a cat named Fred Trump who's from Queens. That's Donald Trump's dad. I don't care what about it. Donald Trump's from Queens, man. So the thing about his grandfather was a pimp from Germany. You know what I'm saying? And he had an uncle when Nikola Tesla died up in New York back on January 8th, 1943. The government seized his notebooks. Nikola Tesla is more important to me than Thomas Edison is. You know what I'm saying? And Donald Trump, uncle John Trump, was a government scientist and he worked at MIT for many years. He actually got a chance to look at those notebooks. So who is this cat, Donald Trump? His sister was a federal judge appointed by the Clintons. I mean, he's cousins with Hillary. He went to Chelsea Clinton's wedding. Long time, lifetime Democrat, to be honest with you. So who is this cat really? You know what I'm saying? I can't hate nobody I don't know.
Well, let me say something else. Not only lifelong Democrat, but he didn't run as a Republican. He ran as a populist.
Yeah, or independent, whatever. Yeah. You know what? When we look back on this point in history, Donald Trump gonna get more credit than he's getting now.
Yeah.
He's gonna get more credit if people are fair. If they fair about how they judge this time, because me, I got more hope on Trump than I did on Obama. I voted for Obama twice, man. Went to both inaugurations, went to debt. Standing out in the cold for Obama. This is how he left us out in the cold.
Hey, look, but I like Trump made a point. A lot of people really, if you just can study that election, right?
Right.
You had a man that ran for president one time with no political experience and still won president of the United States. With spying on his campaign, you can tell it by the emails. You can go look at the emails.
Yeah, definitely.
WikiLeaks, Hillary Clinton, Joe Biden, all these people, Susan Rice, spied on his.
Remember Self-Rich for DNC? They killed them.
Yeah.
In DC, that Self-Rich, was he the
Yeah.
leak for the WikiLeaks? They killed them. They ain't still nothing, I don't think, but they just killed them in this neighborhood. Kind of weird. None of the cameras working, I don't think.
Look,
they never work.
But like even with the General Flynn, right?
You're right.
We got to understand something about that situation.
Mm-hmm.
Flynn was with Obama too. They tried to wreck that man because they didn't. But like I said, look, one thing about it, the real reason the resistance is against Trump is really from the LGBT and George Soros in the Open Society foundations that were trying to destroy America. Look up, anybody can even look up George Soros. This is an interesting guy. He already wrecked Europe one time. You know, George Soros, you got Gates, you got a lot of these people. The LGBT, you got to look, man, they are a vicious movement. You talk about white supremacy. They are the extreme white supremacy. They are worse than just straight white people, if you really want to look at it. That's why I always tell black people, why would you register to be in the LGBT? They just use you as a little puppet, but they're gonna get the benefits, leave you out in the cold. You're nothing. You're just a little footstool for them.
Mm.
So I encourage all my black brothers and sisters, come back to life, come back to family, leave the LGBT alone. Let those white racists have their movement. Don't join them. Stop putting up the rainbow flag and all that. Nobody needs to know about your sexuality. Nobody cares. That is your personal business. I'd rather you be don't ask, don't tell. If you want to tell, just keep it. Don't don't bring it to the light where even
Right.
James Baldwin was gay, but he didn't, flaunt that. Little Richard even told you how bad it was, and
Mm-hmm.
so it's a lot of things. But I want to say one other thing, brother, before I go. George Floyd never, like I said, never pay attention to one killing, because while you watching this way, you got 20 others that happen on the same day. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, police killing is built in the fabric of America. So you cannot always get into the rhetoric of police killing, stuff like that, because some fact of they're going to kill you other ways: bad water, bad food, um, food deserts,
Mm-hmm.
the vaping industry, smoking, whatever. A lot of neighborhoods they making methadone clinics in there. I thought we had a war on drugs. Now you're actually saying it's okay to take drugs. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
So we all got to remember. Look, we have to separate somehow. Don't know how we do. We got to get people on the same tune. But like I was talking to, you saw my interview last week. I'm sure you did.
What?
And what did I?
Will West?
Yes,
That was a great interview, yo.
yeah, that's my brother. I love him. But
Mm-hmm.
and I like his standard point of view. But I always say, you got an HBCU, fill it up to the top. Don't allow
Mm-hmm.
nobody to come in. Make sure the enrollment is 100% black. Nobody else need to be in there but you. You got a black business, it need to be run by black people. Why I got a white person in a black business?
Mm.
Stack your organization to the top, make it black, and make it powerful. Represent. I tell you how you can stop black people, white people coming in there. Put more pictures of Marcus Garvey, and don't put up King. Put up more pictures of Nation of Islam, Hebrew Israelites. The more revolutionary you have your building, white people won't come in there. I can know that for a fact, because white people don't like strong black men. They like weak ones, and they like women that sell out, because they know the black woman is easier to sell out than black men. No disrespect
Mm-hmm.
for them, because we got wonderful black sisters, but they know the Willie Lynch syndrome is still alive and well today. It's working. You see it in politics. Notice everybody on the Democratic side, they always prop up the black woman, never prop up the black man. That's the Willie Lynch syndrome. They've been doing it since 1712, and they're gonna continue to do it until the black man rise up, take his rightful place, and realize who he is. Now I know I've been on you for a while. I've got to go out today, and going out with a sister.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna shoot. I tell all your audience, get armed. Do your thing. I tell you, man, I can tell you a lot, man. I had a wonderful time talking with you on the phone. This was just as enjoyable, brother.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. It'll be other times, definitely. But King BJ, how can we support you or follow you? Like find out your great interviews and things you've been doing and support it.
let me give you my cash app. Dang, I I
You
just
should know
did
that
it.
by heart, man. Come on, man.
I
I know I
got you,
need
man.
some gas money. I know that stuff by heart.
Okay, that would be $ 1919 King. No, 1919 BJ. That's the cash app. King BJ 1987 on Twitter, Facebook Bernard Johnson, and
Mm-hmm.
Instagram Bernard 1121. But yeah, like I said, and you brother Ron, I'm gonna have to send some more people your way, brother. I mean, the interviews you had with Judge Barbara Dick Gregory, all these people. I mean, you listen to these things, man. I said, man, this guy, I got to reach out to this brother, but somehow you went to me on Instagram, I mean YouTube, and found me. I guess you found me because of Dr. Short. I know the interview was funny, you know.
Yeah,
But
Kyle, you know what I do? I like following Dr. Short's a unique character. He should be on TV. He should be like what we've been listening to instead of some of these other jokers. But the day I subscribed to your YouTube channel is the day you reach out to me, which is interesting. I don't know if you saw it, but it's funny because the same day I subscribed is when I got the text from you. Reach out to me. So I mean, it's God, man. It's divine. You know, like Malcolm said, he said that the Negro Revolution is controlled by the foxy white liberals and the government, but the Black Revolution will be controlled by God. So some
well,
things
yeah,
they try to do corporate, but it's some organic stuff going on here. It's time for us to
well,
reclaim the narrative.
like I always say, I got some other powerful people around me. I mean, you know, unfortunately, like we just said, brother, the other night we were talking and we said, you know, we said we might be single because a lot of women don't agree with our views.
Yeah.
But
They scared. They might agree. It's like I meet people that like Dr. Short. I meet these middle-aged black women. He's like he's a guilty pleasure. He listened to the Red Fox albums back in the day in the basement. Oh, I want to listen because you know he's saying it's true. It's raw. It's unapologetic, but it's to the point. And you got to have a sense of humor. Because if you don't have a sense of humor as a black person, you go crazy dealing with the
yeah,
madness, man.
but I'll just say this to you, brother. It's like we gotta, you know, find a common ground, and we gotta like, you know, I would say be more. We might have to be a little bit more funny with our message to get us. But like I said, I'm not trying to. I do DJ, and that might be a fun, but I'm not trying to be a like a entertaining person when I'm giving out
Right.
this information. I know sometimes some people tell me you too hard. You're gonna have to. You need to spoon feed the people. But sometimes I
You
got
were talking to J. Cole or somebody? You talked to J. Cole? He told you that?
but sometimes, you know, like I said, Dr. Short's message is raw. I can be raw. Sometimes I know I might offend people. Not trying to offend you, but I need you to get it. I
Right.
need you to get it. Stop
Hmm.
getting pimped. Don't let anybody pimp the revolution.
That's
No
right.
spies, no agents, no infiltration. If you find a spy, you kick him out. You know, everybody can't be saved. A lot won't be saved.
Yeah.
But if I can get one person to go with me a day, I feel I did my job. That's how I look at myself. I know I can't say if I get 5 in a week, I've done better than a lot of people can do.
That's right.
So you can do the same, brother. Keep on representing Memphis. Like I said, all the other black media platforms, you know, like I said, you got some wonderful ones out there, Professor Black Truth,
Hmm.
the Queen Vicky Dillard, Boyce Watkins, a lot of people, so many other names that's trying to push out this information.
That's
I
good.
don't even care if we get 300 views of this video. Somebody was listening. I mean, you know, I'm just, you know, like I said, I'm just a small guy with weigh 150 pounds, but sometimes I try to have the lion's voice and reach out to people.
Right.
I got a wonderful woman. I wouldn't, you know, wonderful people that's around, you know, support each other, come together, realize we chosen people of God, and keep on pushing, brother Ron. You know, I'll keep in contact with you, and next time I'm gonna bring you on with me. As a matter of fact, brother, you got to come down to Richmond. I'm gonna have to come down to Memphis to hang out
Oh
with
yeah,
you.
definitely. Let me know when you're in this area, man, because we definitely, we believe in Southern hospitality. I do at least. You know.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna send you a text off air. Something I want to tell you, but I wouldn't want to send it on air. So,
Okay, that's fine, man. I
but
appreciate it, man.
you
King BJ, you enjoy your day, man. I hope you have a successful shooting range meet, and the best is yet to come, brother. We look forward to staying in touch and keeping things moving in the right direction.
yes, sir, brother. Well, we'll talk soon, brother.
All right, we love you madly. Take care.
Okay, no doubt.